In a women's flyweight bout, we got Roxanne the Happy Warrior Modaferri against Lucky Lauren Murphy. This one is a battle between two flyweights who are ranked in the top 10 right now, but just towards the bottom of the ranking. So both of them are still more than likely, you would have to say, at least 2 wins away from getting to a point where they could potentially challenge for a title. Where Roxanne Modaferri has already fought for one. She fought for the inaugural flyweight championship, lost to Nikki Montano. So, you know, she's been to that point when the belt was first introduced, but trying to get her way back up there. She has tons of experience. This is going to be her 41st professional fight. So that is a lot. She's not terribly athletic. Anybody who's ever seen her fight, they know. She's tough as nails, though. Very solid on the ground. Her striking's never going to be great. It just isn't. She just doesn't have the level of athleticism, fluidity, and speed, and that quick twitch athleticism that usually is what makes a good striker great or an average striker good. So she is about an average to slightly above average striker, and this is all based off of dedication, time, training, and the work she's put into it. But I think from a striking standpoint, she's about where she's going to be, especially when you consider she's also, you know, definitely older. 37 years old. So she's, like I said, been around a long time. But Lauren Murphy's 36, so they're right there in the same age bracket. But like I said, Roxanne Modaferri has gotten a lot better on her feet. At one time, when I first started watching her, it was pretty much all ground game. She looked like a complete fish out of water standing, but she's gotten much better with that. You saw her in her last fight against Maycee Barber. She was able to really hold her own on her feet against a very strong and powerful striker, much younger than her. She was winning the fight even before Maycee Barber tore her ACL in that fight. So Modaferri didn't win because of the torn ACL. That was just a product of what happened in the octagon. So I have a lot of respect for her and what she brings into the cage. Now, Lauren Murphy is active inside the octagon. She's tough. She's very experienced herself. She's, you know, this is her going to be her 17th professional fight. Seems like she's been around for a long time with the UFC. I think she's going to have a slight speed advantage in the stand-up here. Just a little bit more varied attacks, but Roxanne can surprise you. She'll add a little bit of a wrinkle to her striking, just a couple things. So she's very smart, very high fight IQ, and, you know, fights within herself very well. But from an athleticism standpoint, I think Lauren Murphy might have a slight edge. Murphy's definitely a more powerful striker. 8 of her 12 wins have come by TKO, which is a really high percentage, especially in women's mixed martial arts. I mean, you don't see a lot of ladies with 75% stoppage rates in their victories, so that is pretty significant. I'm thinking in this fight she's going to want to keep this fight standing. Modaferri's so good on the ground. Murphy's no slouch down there. She's never been finished, like, in that way. So she's never been finished at all, as a matter of fact. So she's just super tough and schooled enough on the ground most of the time to avoid submissions. People generally don't even take her down that often. So I don't know that Modaferri gets her down and completely dominates down there. But I do think that Modaferri should still have some level of an advantage. One of the things I want to point out in this fight is watch out for cuts, especially with Lauren Murphy. She has a lot of scar tissue in the face. She swells pretty easily and pretty quickly. And that could have an impact in this fight, because what Modaferri does as a striker is she keeps everything right there in the center with quick, short shots. That jab, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. She'll put together an occasional right cross that comes in with that. And if she can land effectively, especially with the jab against Lauren Murphy, there's a chance that she can open up some swelling or a cut that could ultimately end up being a factor in this fight. I think that it will, as a matter of fact. So I do consider this one of the toughest calls on the card. If you look at the odds, you'll see why I'm saying that. You got Roxanne Modaferri here with the latest odds, according to Bet Online, is a -115 favorite. But then you look at Lauren Murphy, she's at This should say minus 105, not plus 105. So these odds are really, really close. Super close. Now, Tapology has it a little bit wider in favor of Modaferri, but every sports book for the most part has it as a pretty close fight. So like I said, it's one of the toughest calls on the card for me, but I'm going to go with Roxanne Modaferri by unanimous decision. I think that she does enough in the stand-up and maybe gets a timely takedown that turns out to be the difference in a few of these rounds. And while I don't think she'll dominate and get a submission, I do think she'll be able to control Lauren Murphy on the ground, getting some valuable top time, and then that will lead her to the victory in the judges' eyes. So even if it's a split decision, I think it goes the distance, and I think Roxanne Modaferri gets the victory.